It is the podcast, and I promised somebody.
We promised.
That I would read this, and it's been on my mind since I said it, because I know I'll forget it. Victoria says, I'm just going to read it out loud.
Sure.
Hi, Heather. Thank you so much for helping me promote our event. This event is for cookiers, the only event of its kind in the Pacific Northwest. It sounds beautiful. It's so easily accessible via the Clipper from Seattle or Coho Ferry from Port Angeles to the beautiful Victoria, British Columbia. Our website is victoriacookiessummit.ca.
Oh, I heard about it.
Yeah.
The Miller's wife will be there.
Oh, have fun. So you can learn more about this. So I guess
It's
U.S.
almost like-
bakers with passports.
U.S. bakers with passports, all Canadian. I said Canadian and someone got offended, but I looked it up and I said, is it offensive to call Canada? And then every Canadian just said, no, we think you're dumb.
Oh, right. So you're correct. Corey is dumb. So it's Friday the 5th and Saturday the 6th of July this year.
Yeah.
So you got over a month to get your tickets to get out there if you live out there.
I saw the Sugar Shop. It's Cutter Shop is sponsoring them. She has some of the cutest cutters.
Oh, they have a ton of people in their swag bag. Cookie Couture, the Sugar Shop, Borderlands, West Coast Stencils, Sugarloaf Mountain Designs. I know you post a lot of stuff about hers on Instagram. The Cookery, which we love. She was a Vendy Blendie. The Miller's Wife.
She's Canada, too. Miller's Wife, Canada.
Love and Flower. Love and Flower was the Vendy Blendie.
Yeah.
3B's Bake Shop Vendy Blendie. Sweets on Fleet. I don't know what that is. It sounds adorable. Emerald Edge. Sounds adorable.
I think that is Canada, too.
I'm sure it's mostly Canadian. And then Melissa of the Miller's Wife is the keynote speaker. So you guys can learn more about that at victoriacookie.summit.ca.
.ca. That sounds so much fun.
Now
Is
you
it
just have
their
to
first
remember.
year, right? I think.
Thanks for exciting. It doesn't say it's a first year.
I've seen them on social media often promoting it.
Very fun. Let me see. Does anyone know what? I wonder if the tickets are in Canadian or US dollars. Let's look.
I would say Canadian.
I don't know. I'm sure I could read that, but I'm actually in a podcast right now. And I should have read it. You can get a lot of add-on classes as well. That seems really neat. Now I'm released from remembering that. I just got to remember I have a dentist appointment tomorrow.
Now remember who we are and let them know.
We are Heather and Corey Miracle, an offshoot podcast from a group on Facebook called the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group. You'll find a lot of people talking about selling the cookies online. In Canada.
Don't say Canadian. Someone's going to get offended. Or think you're dumb.
Sometimes I think people are like, it's too quiet. I should get offended about something.
Okay, I want to start this podcast off a little nugget know-how of Heather.
You got real loud there, buddy.
Oh, I learned nuggety know-how. I have some questions I want to ask you so we can get to know our podcast host.
Do you think you know my answers before I say them?
Not all these, because these are random questions. I don't think I've ever. That was very juicy. Okay, these are just random, rapid fire.
Are you talking louder because the door's open? You can
rapid fire. No, it's too hot. Question 1: if you got to choose your own name, what would it be and why?
Isabel.
Isabel?
Yeah, hear me out. What's her last name?
Isabel Miracle.
Okay, what's this short for Isabel?
Izzy.
Okay, now say the full name.
Izzy Miracle.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
You can never get married. Do you have a secret talent?
You know what it is. I can spread my toes and pick up my laundry that I dropped.
It also says, can you perform it right now? But I don't want to see
I got some laundry they need to drop.
When you were a kid, what name did you give your favorite stuffed animal?
Leo, the lion.
Leo, and he was a lion.
Did
he come with perfume or something?
We used it to kill the ninjas.
Was that a free gift?
Yeah,
given at like Macy's or something?
Grady got it. It was a man's cologne. And it came with a lion.
Yeah, Heather had washed it. Like ratchet. If you had a pet parrot, which I'm obsessed with right now, what would you teach it to say?
I would probably...
They only kind of know one or two words. Like, it's not a full sentence kind of thing.
Oh, I'd be so basic. And probably be like, hello. Like, just something like, dude, talk to me, man.
You got to teach it a word.
Okay, talk to me, goose.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Talk to me, goose. You sound just like a
What is one item you can't live without?
Diet Coke.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. I was thinking we were going to be technical.
Oh, I didn't know. Honestly, sometimes I drink a Diet Coke and I'm like, this is it. This is all I need.
My mornings start with Diet
They're better
Coke.
for it. My dentist will have other words to say. But
if you could attend any celebrity wedding, which would it be? You're not the wife.
No. I feel like if Josh Groban got married, it would be a pretty cool
Oh,
wedding.
yeah, I do like Josh because he would sing.
He could sing. Free concert.
What was your kindergarten teacher like? Who was your kindergarten teacher?
Miss Cutler.
Wasn't she the helper?
I know.
I can't remember the actual lady, though.
But she was real formal.
Henderson?
No, that was second grade.
Pamela Henderson? Was that her
second
name?
grade.
Yeah. Do you know?
Her name's on the tip of my tongue. Mom would know. She was real, like, by the book.
If you wore one, what would your prom dress look like?
I would have something very, very simple.
Simple?
Yeah.
Would it be close cut?
Yeah.
Oh, you'd wear something tight?
But I would have the neckline go all the way up to my neck.
Oh, wow. I would love
Hello.
to.
Hello, 12th grade. We did not have a prom, by the way.
If you could be any kind of animal, which would you be?
A cheetah. That's my favorite animal.
Hot dog or hamburger?
Oh. Hamburger.
A burger?
I like
What
burgers
would
a
you
lot.
like on there?
Cheese always. Some little restaurant's fun sauce that they like.
Oh.
I like a lettuce and a tomato.
Spicy?
I think
Do you like an onion? Sorry, for people who don't know how it's it's onion. What was your first email address?
It's the one I have. No, it was we went to a school called Temple Baptist School, and my name was Heather,
Your
so
name
it's
still
Temple
is?
Twin H. I think it's still my eBay.
How many languages can you say hello in? One.
I probably 3. English, Spanish, I think German.
What's German?
Hello.
I don't think that's right.
I don't know the 3 languages I touch.
What celebrity do you think you look like?
Everyone says Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick. I don't think I do, though.
They only say it when I put makeup on, it's Anna Kendrick. With no makeup, Anna Kendrick's brother.
How do you spell okay? Is it O and a K or O-K-A-Y?
I think it's O-K-A-Y, but I only use the hard K. With the period.
With just a K. What's the most embarrassing song on your phone right now?
Oh, most of it's from TikTok. I just think it sounds catchy.
What's the weirdest gift you've ever received?
Oh, it's the sitting song. Sitting is the opposite of standing.
What's the weirdest gift you've ever gotten?
Oh, an ex-boyfriend gave me the gift of seeing him in a suit once.
Yeah. Guys, I always have to say, they were going to dinner for Heather's birthday. So Heather gets ready. He gets ready, but with like a 3-piece suit. Was this did you know he was getting ready in a 3-piece suit?
I knew he was wearing a suit. The surprise was that it was this new
Heather
suit.
comes downstairs and he's like, what do you think? And she's like, well, you look nice. Let's go eat. And he was like, no, this is your gift. Seeing me in this tailored suit.
Yeah.
Don, if you're listening. What's the most random fact you know?
I think I know a bunch of random facts because I like reading Reddit.
It has to be the most random one.
The most, there's so many.
So sorry, you're going to have to just...
Okay, we live in Burke, Virginia. Mine just won yesterday.
Okay.
The guy who owned the land where the library is, his 14-year-old daughter went to tend to the cows all day. Never comes home. They find her asphyxiated, tied to a tree. That was my yesterday fact. Sorry, man. There's a lot.
Anyways, what is one thing you'll never do again?
Date a guy who surprises me on a 3-piece suit.
Is soup something you eat or you drink?
It depends how chunky it is, man. When I go to Olive Garden, that's a chewy soup.
That is a chewy soup.
Yeah.
There's not much soup in there. It's more of a chew. Can you fold a fitted sheet by yourself?
No, but I'm a minimalist, so I only ever have one.
Do you have? So you have one fitted sheet? You wash it on the same day?
I wash it.
No,
that's when you gotta wash. That's where your skin makes contact, man. That one's getting washed regardless.
One that just sits in the dirty pile for a while the other one adorns. So there's probably like 3 that I...
All my laundry is done every week, so I try to have the least amount of laundry so it's always done.
I'm enjoying this part, so I can end anytime. There's 250
anyways, that's the podcast is brief. We'll see you next week for Questions with Corey.
Okay, let me find the last one.
Podcast.
Would you rather have hands for feet or feet for hands?
Hands for feet. I already kind of do. It's my talent.
All right, that was fun.
That was very fun. So back to the podcast. Let's dive right in. So we wanted to talk about this week. I'm going to audit Corey's website. The sad part is I'm also building it, so I'm auditing myself. But let's talk about what we did and why we did it.
First, I want you to talk about... Yeah, it's not done, but it is live. L-I-V-E, live.
So don't go look at it. It ain't even spell checked.
It ain't. No, yeah, it's not. Yeah. What I want you to tell us is which foundation, as AKA website platform, did you go with and why?
Okay, there's many website platforms, and I think everything is a give and take.
It is.
So just because I recommend this one, it doesn't mean it unrecommends the other ones.
Okay.
I think you find something that fits how you integrate with the internet. So if you're like, I'm not really technical, and then I say, you could be technical, you just don't want to sit with your problems long enough. But go to a website builder that doesn't give you a lot of options. So then some people are like, well, I don't like paying high fees. Then find something that's price motivated. You're probably going to have to get a little more technical for it, but you don't have to pay as much.
So what Heather is saying is if you want a very custom design, you might have to spend more time with the website. If you want something a lot easier to do that maybe isn't so custom, you'd something like Cast Iron or My Custom Bakes.
So everyone always says, like, what should I budget for a website? And that could be wildly open-ended. I mean, looking at websites could be 10 to 20,000, which is just astounding considering the products that we're selling. And then you can have websites that use templates and they're free, or they don't even use, they're just what you get. And that could be a $0 startup cost. So there is no, when some people are like, can you believe somebody's charging me this? Yeah, absolutely. Because what you're likely paying for is how they communicate with you, how custom the website is. Even though, well, I could do this myself. Yeah, but you're not having to. And you're able to just shoot an email over and something gets changed. So I never I never say a price is too expensive or not. I think it's individual for how much footwork you want to do.
Yeah. We've worked with people in our day job with websites that have been like, and I want this garage door to descend from the heaven and jump down via clouds.
That was. And I was like, I don't think we're the first one. And then you have to take a cloud on it.
Yeah. Then you have people who are like, I don't care. I just want something that's up. So there's a myriad of different avenues you can go to. It's as involved as you want to be or as not involved as you want to be. If you are hiring a company to do it, you want to be involved because you might just get something slapped together. We did have a client once that came to us and we're like, yeah, they actually worked with our competitor. So we're like, great, they worked with our competitor. Let's hire them to
have this inside look at it. And give them the exact same website.
So the websites were like duplicated.
Now then you have websites. I know websites are moving towards builders, which I think is great. I know I can read HTML. I can't write it.
So explain the builders. We're dumbing this down.
Okay. Yeah. So like when you're like build a website, people are like, I need to know code. And that in the past you have, and if you didn't need to know exactly how to code the website, you need to know like CSS, which that's the look of the website. And then you needed to know HTML, which is
you'd have to go to college to learn how to make your website for your bakery. Like it was
too much, right? So now because everyone's kind of like the world of the internet is making it more accessible, these web hosts have gone to these drag and drop builders where you can just kind of drop it and it writes the codes behind the scenes. So that's why I think highly recommend. And a lot of these things are headed in that direction too. Yeah. So much so that I did not choose WordPress for Corey. WordPress is what we've used so long in the past. And now it's moving over to builders. But I just think there's some better options when it comes to e-commerce. Yeah. Because there's different website motivations. An informational website, probably use WordPress. But for a website that handles transactions, going to want an e-commerce based platform. It could be Shopify. My Custom Bakes is e-commerce centric. Cast Iron, Etsy. Then we have those kind of Etsy types where you're just creating listings. You have a store within a website. Amazon is even like those digital storefronts as well. You're right.
So there's different avenues depending on what. In the sourdough world, hot plate is big.
I know, and I've heard about hot plate more and more in the cookie world.
Yeah, so hot plate, there's Bakesy is big in the sourdough community.
And then you can do something as simple as a form, like Jotform is still essentially a website where you can, get money. It just doesn't have all the conversions. Yeah. The conversion things that you can use to get people to pay.
So it comes down to what do you want from your website? If you want something that's so custom, you're probably going to hire somebody and it's going to cost you just a little bit more than the average bear.
Even if they're using a website builder themselves, but they're doing it for you, it could still be a very great investment.
Yeah, absolutely. So Heather, for me, went to Shopify.
I'd used Shopify in the past, probably over a decade ago. Okay. Just to learn. I wanted to learn e-commerce myself, and I thought the best way to learn it would be to try it.
Was that Neat Stuff website?
No, that was a WordPress-based website. Okay. This was the t-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, this is very interesting. I thought Shopify was well designed.
It's very...
So why don't you see it recommended in the group a lot? I think because it needs a little customization. The problem with cookiers, custom products, and e-commerce websites are meant to sell t-shirts with 3 different sizes, right? Right. In your guys' websites, you guys want to vet. Like you guys have a lot of prerequisites. I want to be able to vet. I want to have a booked calendar. I want them to be able to not submit at this time. which I think Shopify isn't actually perfectly designed for. And for that reason, we've done some alterations to your website that make it not as conversion, but you also want to vet them super, super much. So in a way, in essentially for Corey, we've increased her funnel size so that people drop out so that she can get the orders that she wants.
Yeah, because I'm not doing baking full time. I can't just have you send an inquiry in and assume that you're booked and ready to go. Like, I can't just take your money and then be like, oh, by the way, can't do that.
I'm refunding. Like, that would be when you're going to lose money and refund.
Absolutely. Too much back and forth, too much time. So I needed a way to have a website, because a website is actually great for conversions. It builds trust. It tells people about your brand and they can get a feel for you all in one spot. The best part of a website, though, is it can rank for you on search engines like Google and what's the other one? Bing.
Whatever that one was. Yeah, there's a give and take with everything. So Jotform, why I recommend so many people start there. It's so easy to get up and running. It does take payments. I think it's free if you take under 10 payments a month. But you're not building pages. There's no blog. There's no about me. There's no terms and conditions. It's just a form.
Bare bones, straight to the point.
But also very short funnel. You get it all right there. On the flip side, a website could have, here's my process. Here's a little bit about me, which are all ways to kind of,
it builds value.
Yeah, it's just social proof that I'm giving this person my money and I'm getting something back. Yeah. On the flip side, a lot more intensive.
You're more involved. Yeah. It's not just to set it and forget it. Things break on websites all the time.
And websites are very photo-centric. So if your photos aren't looking that great, maybe a form would be the ideal thing right now. Hide behind it. And then when your photography gets better, that website's going to be a huge boon in conversion rates.
Okay. So now that we have a foundation of why a website's good, take us through your website audits.
So a lot of website builders sell templates. I wanted to work with a free template and see how cute we could get it. Because when you think of free, you think of not as fun. But I think this is pretty easy to make kind of fun. It loads very fast. Sometimes when you get into custom websites, things get bogged down. The longer a website takes to load, the more likely your clients are to give up.
I will say, in this microwavable world where if my food isn't ready in 10 seconds, I'm outie 5,000 or I'm frustrated. It's huge that if you have photos on your website and someone clicks to your website, you truly want them to load fast.
Yeah, there's the fine line of the picture's so small, it's pixelated and looks gross, which some of these are a little small, I can see right now. And the other line is these pictures are so big, I can see the crumb read, but the website takes 10 years to load.
Right. And when we're talking about website conversions, a website is there to be your salesman that works 24/7.
And even when you're sleeping.
So if your website is taking too long to load, that's causing some frustration with your audience, especially if someone doesn't know you and they're literally just vetting you in the quietness of the night. That your website, they're going from the About You page to find out where you're located to your form page to see what you offer. And if it's taking too long, you're going to lose them. They're going to go to the next one.
At this point in my internet journey, if a website takes too long to load, I think it's hacked. And I'm like, well, I got to get out before I'm...
So there is a fine line between too much and too little.
And too slow. So right off the bat, now I try to, whenever even these drag and drop builders are pretty impressive now. And Shopify is a drag and drop builder, which I kind of liked. Yeah. You just load up a theme and then you can get it customized, which I actually hire that out. I always used to watch What Not to Wear. Yeah. And what were the two people's name? Clinton and Kelly. They would always say, you buy the clothes, but you have to take them to a tailor. Like buying the clothes is the first part. To make it work for you, you take it to the tailor. And in a website, like getting the website set up is the first part. Get it to a digital tailor. I have a guy I use on Upwork. I've used him for years. And I'll just be like, hey, can we make this change? And he'll go in there and kind of tailor the website for what we need. And you don't even have to know code. You just have to have money. That's, again, I love hiring out my hates. So right off so I like to put on the consumer's hat. Yes. With a little bit of like kind of the knowledge of conversions. But what would the person clicking to here
want to be greeted with?
So I think they really want it branded. To me, the more branded things you look bigger than you are, but it makes me feel comfortable buying.
Confident that you're not just like fly by night, like you're going to shut down tomorrow because,
Right. So we started off with Corey's rebranding, which was a year ago, and we came up with some fun colors. So a color scheme. You can use Colors. I think it's COLOORS.co or something to find like color palettes that are happy. If you don't already have a brand, even if you have a brand, you can find complementary colors because a website needs around 5 colors we can choose from.
Okay.
So right off the bat, the template provided a rotating banner, which is that image that's at the top. It's kind of a call to action. It's kind of a mix of things. I like to make sure that at any time somebody asks me what's going on, they'd be able to order something.
Yeah.
So even if they stop at the banner, I think sometimes we use banners to just talk about ourselves.
Which at the end of the day, we love talking about yourself. But if I'm coming there in this microwave mindset that we live in, right. I'm not coming to necessarily get to know you. I'm coming here because I want to order something from you.
Right. I always want my first button to be like, if you're just here to order, right here, stop. If you're going to scroll on, then I need to convince you a little bit. So that's why I say my banner. So I have it fresh from the cottage kitchen, serving customers sugar cookies and cake pops in Northern Virginia. Order here. That's the first banner. Second banner says cookies, cake pops, and breads. Order deliciously custom gifts. A little bit of this is filler text. I need to go back and kind of audit it. But again, another order here. And then we have another banner that says based in Lake Ridge, Virginia. And it says your Northern Virginia sugar cookie, cake pop, and sourdough dealer. Order here. Now you see that I mentioned Northern Virginia a lot. That's a part of that SEO component of it. Yeah. Not only does it vet people like, oh, she doesn't, deliver, or she's not located where I'm at. It says, hey, I'm in Northern Virginia. Virginia, that is north. I'm in the north side of the state of Virginia. It's different ways for the internet to understand where this website is kind of based.
So what that can do in the long run, it won't happen overnight, is if someone in Northern Virginia who's not familiar, especially we have such a transient area, people are coming and going, but they would type in Google, since Virginia is so vast, they would type in bakers in Northern Virginia.
Might even do sugar cookie bakers, sourdough bakers.
Yeah, so you would be able to maybe rank for those keywords.
Now, again, you got to do the hybrid. We want to talk to robots, but we want to talk to humans, right? So you can see when a website's completely outfitted for robots, it's very hard for a human to like it.
Yeah.
So there's that, like, how much can I say I'm in Northern Virginia without sounding like I'm keyword stuffing? Is the word it is. But while also letting everyone, both bot and body, know that I am a Northern Virginia baker. So it's, again, kind of that hybrid, the best of both worlds, why no one wins 100%.
Right.
Because right here, to say Northern Virginia 3 times seems repetitive. Who is it for, though?
It's for the robies.
Yeah, the robies are like that. But the other people, I put in a pretty photo. I put in some emojis.
Now, one thing I will say that I wanted to change. Okay. Lake Ridge is an unincorporated town within this Woodbridge. So when you say Lake Ridge, not everyone knows what Lake Ridge is. Everyone
would change that to Woodbridge. That would make more sense.
Yeah. So while I do service Lake Ridge, and it is this little tiny community that's very near to me because I'm within Lake Ridge, technically Woodbridge is more known. So instead of having to explain to people like Lake Ridge, an unincorporated town in Woodbridge, they'd be able to just know off the bat.
So, and that's a great point. Don't be afraid to change it. Test it, change it, test it, change it. I've got blind spots because I'm thinking Corey's in Lake Ridge. She only wants to do this in Lake Ridge. But she's like, no, people don't know where Lake Ridge is. I see it all the time. I don't live in Lake Ridge, so I don't know.
Right, because I'll see people be like, Lake Ridge. And you're like, yeah, right inside Woodbridge. And they're like, oh, Woodbridge.
Now, with these banner images, so the banner has this text, but the background is images. I asked Corey to set down and take some orangey-based products. So she rebaked cake pops with orange sprinkles. She made cookies with orange sprinkles. She put an orange bow on a sourdough bread. And I know that seems like a waste, but she ended up giving that stuff away. But it really helps make this website's cohesive brand colors.
So you might say, well, I want to showcase that I can do princess cookies and things like that. There is going to be a whole little section that they can peep those kind of specialty things.
Yeah, I'll have to create a portfolio, which isn't up there yet. But for that banner image, I really wanted to lean into this orange. I think it's bright. I think it's fun. I think it screams I'm getting cookies if I order them. Right below that, we have, now this is the e-commerce portion. This is where I've got that developer, the guy who writes code. He's changing it. So in Northern Virginia, you actually can't technically take money online. Yeah. It's an old archaic rule. I don't know. Yet they want to see that, whatever it is, you're supposed to do exchange of money in person. Anyways, with an e-commerce website, what the best part of it is the shortest funnel, so it has a checkout. So we wanted to remove the checkout and have them be able to go to a product page and read about that specific product, but not be able to order it at that minute. Corey wants to send them to a form where she can vet the order herself and then handle the payment over there. So right now it has these freshly featured faves. You see, it's kind of playing F's.
I like that.
And I have like custom cake pops, macarons. I haven't built this out yet. I was still talking to the other guy. So, but what I wanted is that if you click on a product, you get to see everything about the specific product. And Corey texted me on Friday saying like, what should they say? And I said, put on your consumer hat Let me know what the size of these are. How many do you recommend for the party of 20? Should I order 20? Should I order 40? Should I order 10?
Yeah.
Tell me the ingredients you use. Tell me how to store it. Things that I would know as a consumer that make me feel confident in buying it. Now, like when I go buy clothes now, I love it when the person that owns the website tells me what the model's sizes are.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I kind of have her body type. What size did she order? And it really helps me convert. And then you can go as far as to have people with reviews. And I actually prefer websites that have a mix of 5-star and 1-star reviews so I can see what the pain point was.
I don't have a
It's like, I kind of got this in a try. And so you can kind of see that option and then tell them the price point. And that's where you can do a lot of the vetting of the type. So we'll have custom cookies on here. I probably add DIY kits.
I'm going to add corporate orders because I want people to come to that website.
Now, what we're not going to call those is Eddie cookies.
No, because Eddie is an industry term. It's an industry buzzword.
And DIY kit is too. So you'd say do it yourself, cookies at home, or some way you could rebrand doing a class by yourself.
Yeah,
Self-guided
you wouldn't
classes.
say PYO. You do paint your own. Because we as bakers so know those little, is it acronyms?
Yeah.
That we just say it and everyone knows what we mean, but people on the outside don't know who Eddie is. It sounds like you cheated on your husband and he helps you bake in the meantime. So what we want to do is dispel those so we can make conversions versus having them to have to click to something else to learn what something is.
So something I really like about e-commerce based websites is on these product pages, you can do product variants, and then a variant of a baked good would be quantity. And then you can have multiple images. And why I love multiple images, again, think of clothing stores that you like to go to. One website I am absolutely enamored with because it converts so well is Coach bags, like the purses. Yeah. When you go to their product page, first of all, it's the purse on all sides. Love that. But then because you can't understand the sizing of things in relationship, they'll have a model standing with it. Love that. Then it'll be the model walking in it, a little really compressed video of it. And then there's a video of everything that would fit in the purse next to the purse. Then the final video is somebody packing the purse. Yeah. I mean, it really helps me understand the product exactly. And they even have a fake person outline, and it shows you in relation to the size of that person what this person's size is.
Because, you don't want a giant purse if you're looking for a small purse, but size is so relative. Yeah. If there's nothing next to it that you, like a quarter.
So, and Corey, when I'm going to tell her to produce more of these photos for me, I'm going to say, we need something. If you even have an orange ruler laid next to it, would help people understand. Because you told me there could be small cake pops and large cake pops.
Yeah, I will remember the drama that happened in the group. Someone made elf-size cake pops.
I remember this.
They had Mr.
They
Elf
were for
in the
Elf
photo,
on
though.
the shelf.
Yeah.
But they were hyper miniature because he's a doll.
And he's also like 5 inches tall.
Yeah, someone said, I thought these were for my people's size, 5 feet tall. And they're like, no, it's meant for the little doll to get into.
And it came down to, like, even though she had the picture, the client did not put 2 and 2 together. And these were like mini on a toothpick.
There were minis of minis of minis. And the baker wasn't wrong. The client didn't read, but the picture would have solved the problem. So I'm going to have Corey get an orange ruler of sorts and just have these product photos next to that. While it seems weird in concept, it'll be very nice in execution. Yeah. Same with macarons. You have a picture here. I don't know if those are giant. I don't know if they're tiny. They can be many sizes.
Yeah. I remember another post that went up was typically an average order of cookies will be anywhere from 3 to 3.5 inches each. Right. She had those, but she also had mini cookies in there, minis, which are 2 to 2.5. I remember that
the client got upset because they were like, I bought the set, not knowing that some were smaller. And that's just this deceiving photography thing. I was watching on TikTok, some guy he's like, I got targeted in this weird ad for a bust of a head of a shark coming out at your wall. And he's like, but look at the listing. We said they photoshopped a hand holding an apple. And I thought it was in relation to size. Like this bust was huge. And he's like, but when I got it, he said, it's the size of an apple. And he said, I emailed him, like, why did you use the apple? He said, it made me think it was huge in relation to the apple. But they were trying to say it is the size of an apple.
That's hilarious.
So you can see that kind of photography like that. Yeah. And at the end of the day, what we want is that when somebody comes to order, again, the hybrid, how much information is enough, but how much information is too much? Yeah. And the way we can kind of break down information is bulleted lists. These pictures are worth 1,000 words. So the more pictures you have, that's why I really like that Coach website. If you guys go look it up, every product they have is featured the same way.
My favorite thing, if I'm ordering something on Amazon, I like that they include the inches in the photo.
It is very nice.
Yeah. So I'm like, because now Heather's taught me some cutter mat.
Yeah.
Now I know what fits and what doesn't. So I need to see that size so I can know how, if I order it, I don't want to be like, oh crap, now I have all these tiny little boxes that don't fit anything.
All right, that's a great example. Now, another feature I really like about e-commerce centric websites that we lose with forms is when you click to, like, you have the quick view and then you can go to the product page. They have that based in Shopify in this free theme. And then it has you might also be interested in features. So a lot of times when you go to clothing websites,
I will buy stuff that says, you might
be So you can go say, well, I want a cake pops. But at the bottom of that listing where you can easily, of course, now we're increasing Corey's funnel because we're sending them somewhere else. But they could see like, oh, maybe I'd like to add those as well.
Yeah. So I made Rice Krispie treats yesterday for Heather.
They were amazing.
Testing out a recipe because...
Okay, were you testing or are you trying to get some cutters?
A little bit of both. But I want to do these chocolate-covered Rice Krispie treats that I've never done before. I'm not a Rice Krispie treat person, but you put Rice Krispie treats on the bottom, a layer of chocolate on top, you cut them, and the squares match whatever your set is. So since I'm new to this, it'd be nice to have someone try to sell it for me, which would be my website, being like, you have these, but maybe you would like these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, now right at the top, we had the banner, we had pictures, and we had the order form. Click here to order form. Again, this will send them to an order form. It won't send them to checkout, just the way we're structuring it. Don't recommend that.
Yeah.
Then we have the freshly featured faves, product images, probably going to put 5 up here. Hopefully they scroll. I'll only have 2 up. Okay, if they keep scrolling, they need more convincing here. So we didn't get in with the order form, so they weren't the quick guys. Yeah. We didn't get in with their featured faves. They weren't trying to get that. They want more convincing is how I see people scrolling down a website. They're not fully sure you are the baker for them. So right here, I had Corey actually print her logo on Eddie Cookies. Again, we're just flexing our capabilities here. So that's the image I have, and it says, hi, I'm Mixing Bowl Cookie Company. I've been a cottage home baker, and then it goes to more about me. I hate sending people away from the money page. Yeah. But if they're here and they're interested in that, I want it to be readily available, then I'm willing to tell you who I am. Like, I'm going to be here. I've been doing this for 5 years in, you'll never guess, Northern Virginia. Again, and I could change it to Woodbridge if I want to even make it more endowed. And we haven't audited this yet. And then again, I list the products that I offer because we want to talk to the Robies. Mm-hmm. And then the Boettis. And it goes to more about me, which would send them to a page where I don't make a ton of money.
True. And what Heather means about that is your money page is your main page. The more conversions you can make, not sending them to 52 different pages on your website, the faster you're going to get money in your pocket.
Think if I only said you got 2 clicks per person before they give up.
Yeah, it's the order now, and I went to both of
So essentially, I've got 1 click getting them to Corey's website, and then I got another click sending them to a form, and there's a 3rd click to submit the form. She wanted to extend the funnel. Because Corey's like, it's more important to me to be able to vet them than it is to make quick money. If you're like, I do this full time and I need every buck I get, you're going to want to shorten that. You're going to want to make sure that you use it. Okay, so we scroll down beyond that. I may move this around a little bit. I just had to have some filler text because whatever. Commonly asked questions. I do like FAQs, and I don't want them to be like, what'd you name your dog last night? It has to be stuff that always points towards conversions. What's the minimum you need to know to feel comfortable giving me your credit card information? Yeah. So we have where are you located? That's a very big, important part of this area. There's so much traffic that if someone's in Leesburg and you're in Woodbridge, you're over an hour and a half from each other. Yeah. In traffic, it's 2 business days.
If I do lose someone, I'd much rather lose them on my website before I spend the emails going back and forth. Yes. Because time is money. And if you were thinking I'm too far anyways, then let me cut you loose.
Yeah. Again, we probably have to retool some of these, but these are just things to start off with. My next one, here's where I am. How much does this cost? So my custom doesn't, Corey likes to get that out of the way first.
I really do.
It kind of stops the tire kickers. It stops that gasp. Yeah. Which leads to the ghost. So if we can say, hey, before you even click here, and now some of you guys are like, well, don't you think that I could talk them into it? Yes, you can. And if you're willing to vet them for that, then you can make that a little bit more open-ended. Corey don't want to do it. I don't think. I get the vibe.
I want you to be so sure in me that I'm worth every single dollar. And I don't want to have to earn it.
So keep in mind, just because Corey's doing it, she's also high maintenance, may not be the best thing
to do.
True,
absolutely.
Each baker is different.
And if you're starting out, you might have to do the, value added first, and then I'm going to hit with the price quote.
Then I would say, then you need to lean into like, hey, will this look exactly like my inspo picture? No, it won't. And that's something that I'd replace my cost one with like, hey, you're kind of getting a deal, and here's why. How late can I order? I know Corey gets a lot of questions like, hey, I need this tomorrow. Can you get it? And I know you bakers love to make fun of people. Krispy Kreme does it in 2 seconds. So we could have gotten, so it's like, hey, and I added, again, I just made this as filler text, but if I'm not booked out already, I'll need about 2 weeks to source the cutters, ingredients, and designs. Under a week before you need your order for cookies, ask me anyways. I may still be able to get it, but there's going to be a fast track fee. I love it when someone of $20.
Yeah.
So again, we're answering these questions before people ever end up in the forum because time is money. And if they end up saying, oh, wow, I didn't know that you can't take my order, we've already wasted time, which is funny.
Especially if they want a last minute order and then my price is too expensive. Like, then my little fast track fee is going to blow your mind.
We're going to be so far off and we wasted both our times. Now they got to go pay another baker.
Yeah.
Allergens and gluten. Again, these are FAQ questions. I'm based off of previewing sometimes Corey's inbox. I don't answer the questions. I just see people are like, I have an allergy. I'm really worried about anyone ever getting ill from things. And I know have your flip insurance, but also say it a million places. Imagine in the court of law, they're like, well, you never told them you had a peanut kitchen.
Yeah. If you see my pin post, website will have it.
I think I put it on your box.
It is on my form.
I think I put it on those custom boxes.
It's a check. You have to check off like this is not.
Yeah. So I added that allergens and gluten. I'm not an allergy-friendly kitchen nor a gluten-free bakery, but I have good recommendations on bakers I can send you to.
Yeah, there's some certified bakeries around here, and they will be able to like handle that so much better.
If you think you want to be gluten conscious or friendly, I would just say Kim Sims taught Alive in there, and she's like, it's extremely difficult to be allergy conscious and not allergy dedicated.
Yeah.
So not something I want to cross. So if we can get somebody not to have to land in Corey's inbox for that, we've saved everyone's time.
We have.
And then do offer delivery. And it says cottage bakers in Virginia can't ship cookies. I wish, but I don't offer delivery. However, I have really flexible contactless porch pickup options. And again, I kind of want to be like, it's a no, but we can make this an easy, like an alternative where we both win. Now I've added this here. It's probably too high up. I just really went in for aesthetics. And it says, learn to decorate. Meet me in McLean for a 1.5-hour cookie class, and it sends them over to taking classes. Now I don't like where that's positioned on the website, but I do like what it looks like. So what I'm going to tell myself is probably move that to the bottom, replace this with something that helps with conversions for the orders.
Yeah.
But I think it's fun to say, come to my cookie class. To make the photography for that cute, I had Corey, she came up with the idea. She found cookie cutters in her brand colors and spelled out cookie class. So they're not even cookies, it's cutters. And then I have the ordering process. Now I think about this, I think about it in terms of how I would want to know this goes. Makes me feel good. So I think, like I was like, if I detailer
at the end of the day,
up,
setting expectations is huge.
It buys us a lot of time.
It does.
So I was thinking, like, if I had someone, if my cousin, again, we talked about him last week, he runs that little detailing fly-by-night company.
Yeah.
I don't think he correctly communicates what his process is. So he's always wondering if people know that they're not allowed to stay. And I'm like, he's like, do you think I don't know. What'd you tell him? So with the process here, kind of contradicting how he approaches it so that they know, one, we brainstorm. You don't pay until it's approved. Once you submit your order inquiry, we work together to come up with the perfect design. So I'm giving them a heads up that they're not going to pay on here. Corey don't want the money.
Yeah.
So it's a unique thing that Corey wants to do. You guys may not because you want to make money. Whatever. Again, it's going to be unique to how the baker wants to approach this. Number 2, you approve and pay. So again, kind of telling them as soon as you approve, you're going to pay. You're not going to pay at pickup. I want them to know that. I see a lot of people say, oh, well, they're backing off now when I say pay ahead of time. I don't think it was communicated, and you're now knee deep in the ordering process.
You don't want to be knee deep having secured the order. You've already talked about colors, color palette, shapes, and sizes. And then you're like, all right, you can go ahead and pay here. Oh, I'm more comfortable with paying at pickup. And then you have this weird, awkward conversation.
Right. And again, the website's supposed to go. I know right now you're thinking, well, then I'll put all my policies on this website. I was reading on Reddit the other day, and they said, what's the biggest lie in society today? And the top comment voted up by hundreds of thousands of people was that you agree to the terms and conditions because no one reads them. For us to be mad at our clients for not reading terms and conditions, I never, ever read them. I immediately click that. Follow me with your cookies. I don't care if you send it over to Messenger. But so you may be thinking, well, here's what you do. This is what you're going to do. Again, it's that hybrid of I want to be approachable. I want to be conversational. I need you to know a few things. Anything else we'll handle. Maybe I'll put a terms and conditions page on here. Again, I don't expect people to read it, but I can reference it if I need to. And then number 3, you porch pickup. Again, I'm reiterating, there's no delivery here. There's no, Corey, I don't like talking to people, so it's a porch pickup.
At the end of the day, I will talk to you, but it's an option.
And it says, once your order is boxed and ready, you swing by Lake Ridge again to reiterate it's not a delivery thing, to grab your custom cookies from my porch. Instructions on freshness are included. And I'll throw in a car cookie for you to eat a la 95 traffic. Okay, I wrote this. Corey didn't.
We might have to do that. It depends on how I'm feeling.
And then I actually created a page. It's not been built out yet, but it says more about my process. I don't expect a ton of people to head that way, but if they want to, they can feel more reassured.
Yeah, but I can spell it out on that page. Like if you need that much reassurance, I'm going to hold your hand and I'm going to tell you exactly what to expect.
Yes. Okay, so now if they're still scrolling, in my mind, if you're still scrolling, you're still
You're
not
a stalker.
convinced.
You're not a customer. You are.
Corey's ex-husband. You still want a little bit more convincing. So when I think of like what would make me feel better about placing an order, seeing a picture of somebody. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. When I see a picture of a baker on their website, it makes me feel like, they're real.
Yeah.
This is legitimate. Mm-hmm. So I have Corey, and it's a picture of her, and it says, "Hi, I'm Corey. Hey there, I'm Corey. I'm in North Virginia native, born and raised in North Virginia."
Yeah, awesome.
I've been baking and teaching cookie classes. There's a keyword.
Yeah.
Cookie classes for 5 years. A bit about me. I'm a twin. Yes, there are two of me. No, she doesn't bake. I'm married to a county police officer, so you know where your order is safe. And I have one son who likes to act like a parent. I'm an open cookbook. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. And then an about me page.
Can't wait to see how many people take that little blurb.
Yeah, they're probably like, my husband is a county police officer. So then I have another banner call to action. This is more of an aesthetic thing. They're called ribbons on web design.
Okay.
Let's bake, ready to order. So now we're having that clincher. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
I
like,
can't,
what else can I
can't
tell
convince you anymore. Like, we're coming to the end.
Do you want to see my tax returns?
I'm going to open a good book. I'm going to open IRL book. But when you think in terms of a website, they call them squeeze pages because as you scroll down, you're supposed to get closer and close, squeeze, 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 and buy.
Yeah.
So I think at the top, it was like, hey, you want to order here? Oh, you don't yet.
Oh.
Here's some products. Still no. Okay, I teach classes now. And then we have that last, like, okay, we're ready for this. Let's get started on your cookies order here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now beyond that, now it goes into a blog section. I enjoy blogs in terms of how they relate to search engine optimization. It is weird I know you guys are like, well, I don't want to write anything.
Yeah.
It's not for you. Again, this is kind of for people. It's a great way to generate content if you're like, well, I don't know what to sell. So Corey texted me Friday, what should the blog include? And what did we come up with?
We said, what did you say?
No, I want you to tell me.
I can't remember.
I want you to
there was so much conversation.
What would you put in a blog? You do this as well as you know.
Well, I will say for our cookie classes, what we did was great date night ideas around Northern Virginia.
Now, what happens when say date ideas Northern Virginia, if you go search that on Google, what if this website pulls in? That's kind of the thought here. And you can do, there's linking structures in SEO. That's something that the blog is able to accomplish where it would be very weird to have a spot on your website that says date ideas. Right. Also, I'm Corey, and here's my process. That would be very intrusive to have that. So what you can do with a blog is you can add more content. But I said to Corey, like, how to store a custom cookie order if your event's a week from now.
Or how to freeze a custom cookie order.
How long does icing last in my DIY kit? These common questions that you see asked, you can, imagine someone ask you that in an email, like, hey, thank you so much. I ordered these DIY kits for my kid's birthday. What's the care instructions? Hey, read this on my blog. I cover everything you need. That has a twofold thing. It helps with conversions. It helps with new, fresh content. But now it also helps with the whole website in terms of SEO because that content does really help.
And I will say, come the holidays, Christmas, where we make a ton of DIY kits. It'd be great to say, here's your DIY kit. I'm going to send you a follow-up email. In that email, it's going to tell you how to open and operate and do everything with your DIY kit. What that does is give me more clicks back to the website.
Mm-hmm. Again, this is all tracked by Google. If you, hook it up to Google, those bots are constantly checking your website. Google Analytics tells you how long somebody was on it before they bounced or bounce rate.
So imagine if my blog post about DIY kits is so extensive, they're going to spend so long reading through it so that they have it ready to roll that the bots are going to be like, oh, this is a very valuable page.
Now, again, DIY kit, in that blog post, I may mention DIY kit, but I would also call it do it yourself. Or call them cookie kits. Again, these keywords that all center around this type of content because we want to capture that search query when somebody Googles it. And the blog is a great way to do that. So I do like having blogs in there. Some website hosts don't have that feature. I don't think My Custom Bakes does. And I don't think like you can have a blog on Etsy. But there's some that do. Now, WordPress is super blog centric. It is a blogger platform. There's two different versions of it. But Shopify gives us the option to have this hybrid thing. And I really do like it when they tuck that in there as an option. Would I not use a host if it didn't have a blog feature? No.
Really?
If you were my SEO client, I would say, no, we have to switch.
yeah.
But if you were a baker and you're like, well, I wasn't going to write anyways, I'd rather you be willing to write and have the blog feature than force you into a blog feature and you just never write anything.
Yeah, because nothing's more like, oh, this is long lasting forever.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about a solid blog post, we're looking at 1,000 words.
Heather requires 2,000. Ask me how I know.
Sometimes do that. They always say like, how long should the blog post be? How long is the one that's currently ranking?
Yeah.
That plus, I don't know, 250 words.
To cover every base. Here's the thing, a lot of bakers they're at this impasse, a fork in the road per se, and they're like, I want a website and I don't know what to go with. Here's the thing. It comes down to what's your goals. If you go with something like Etsy is a great, easy to do. It's its own search engine within it, but you don't own it. At any given time, Etsy can close your shop down.
There's the fees is a big one.
There's a lot of fees associated with it, but
I do find Etsy really hard to navigate sometimes.
Yeah, but Etsy does bring a lot of people to you. So
you'll see cookie cutter shops. They're a great example of like, I want the Etsy traffic, but I don't want the Etsy fees. So they'll actually have an Etsy store. And they'll also have a standalone website, and some of the stuff on their website's not on their Etsy store and vice versa, and that's how they're transferring that traffic. At the end of the day, your website will go through refreshes. Your website may even change platforms. Yes, it has an effect on search engine optimization. At some point, a website may be too established for me to ever want them to switch. But when you're just getting started, you have a lot of options, and I think it's good to find one that works for you, and don't be opposed. Don't be like, oh, I started, SEO is working. Don't be so opposed to being open to switch. Again, case-by-case basis.
Case-by-case basis. There's many platforms out there that you can choose from, though. Shopify is one Heather really liked in the past and wanted to give a try again.
Yes, Wix is one.
WordPress
does have an e-commerce component that you can add on. WooCommerce is the big thing there. Webflows is kind of newer website platform. I haven't investigated yet.
Big one, Square.
Square is a big one. Squarespace is kind of more similar to Shopify.
Yeah.
Then you have My Custom Bakes, the cast iron, those kind of ones where you're just interfacing within this kind of Etsy type structure. I think My Custom Bakes is a little bit more customized. I don't know. I haven't investigated a lot of them. There's just a ton of options out there. As we come to the bottom of this website, we always have, this is always called the footer. So we have the menu is called your header. And then the page itself, which this would be considered our homepage. And then within most websites, you'll have a running footer. That means on any page, the footer is always the same, which I like. In terms of a footer, what do I always look for in a footer? I look for kind of another menu list, which I haven't built on this one yet. I look for social media. I look for contact. That's this stuff that we're pretty conditioned to as consumers to look for in the footer.
I always look for social profiles, so I can just click over and see what are your reviews.
Yeah, it's either going to be in the header and the footer. It would be odd to me to find it in the middle of a homepage and not in those places as well.
We also are going to have on the website a little gallery. Portfolio. So you can see, I know people are going to be like, I don't really like that you put the branded stuff,
because it looks like Corey right now only makes orange cookies.
It does
look
it's
not orange, no orange.
But at the end of the day, I do like a branded page. It sets me apart. I like the
She's willing, for the sake of branding, to give up maybe people's, think maybe she only does orange stuff.
Right.
But we're going to have this gallery page to kind of be like, also, here's all the custom things. Now, it's not going to be on the homepage because she don't want to throw off the aesthetic. But
if you want to click over there, there'll be a link to it throughout the homepage that you can just go over and click over. Oh, she does do princess.
So again,
cookies.
What are you willing to get, and what are you willing to give to get it?
And at the end of the day, after we look at maybe some of the click-through rates and look at the data,
I would never be opposed to constantly tweaking and changing to see what's working, what's not. What's going to happen when we actually get this website live is people are going to be like, hey, question, I didn't see this on your website. And we're going to be like, is that something we should add there? Is that an FAQ question that we're missing? Is that a little ribbon that should be added? What are you looking at?
Someone said, hi, I never got a picture for you. Can you make them orange and black? No ivory, please.
Is that orange cookie? She does. Orange it is. And then in the footer, we have a sign up for a newsletter. Again, that's a great way to build out. How many people will sign up? I don't know. But here's the if some people are like, sign up for my newsletter, I'm like, what do I get? Spammed?
Yeah.
But I said, be the first to snag delicious deals, BOGO on class tickets, or become a new product taste tester by signing up for the newsletter. Because again, I like to give to get. And I think if we give incentive sign up and I'll spam you to death. Like, that's not going to make me want to sign up.
Won't.
That's why you see when you go to a lot of e-commerce websites,
They're
sign
always,
up to get 15%
10% off your first order.
Because they know once they get in your website, they have a higher likelihood of converting
Once they get in your inbox.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You're in their website. They're in your inbox.
No, I'm just moving the chair
You
is
seem
squeaky.
fidgety.
You need to
You
do a
seem
little
fidgety.
WD-40 on this guy.
You seem fidgety. So that's the website. Now, back to the menu. We have I don't remember what it's called. We have a banner at the top, now booking for August 2024. You can have that say whatever you want. I prefer it say something very current, which means you'll have to be in your website. I can't feel bad for people when I go to your website. It's like, now booking for 2022. Like, buddy, you're 2 years behind. Nothing says I'm not getting what I ordered.
Yeah. What you could do, it's a great way to showcase that you have upcoming cookie classes, especially if that's something newer for you. During COVID, for a lot of our clients, we put COVID restrictions like,
here's our COVID process.
Yeah.
Here's just because there is a space to put text doesn't mean you have to use it. So I see these people who use these top banners and they're like, I bake cookies. Like, we knew that. That's why we're here. Maybe not. That now is a pretty distracting thing. Now I'm booking for August 2024. What does that tell me? You're booked for July?
Yeah.
That means you are booking for August. You can put things like, I have an upcoming cookie class in 2 weeks, but I would say that that's pertinent information because it's a firstest thing. It's even for your logo. Then we have the menu. Now, things I have on here, I just threw them up yesterday.
Yeah.
Kind of placeholders. We have a homepage. People who are my grandmother's age need to have a home tab. Even though your logo, clicking on a logo always takes you back to the home. They do not trust that. They want that home tab. Shop, that would be and I'm trying to think of a better word to shop, the bakery.
Products,
one of those is going to be it. They had catalog as a default. I did not like that at all.
I don't like
products is probably better.
Yeah.
Shop kind of tells me what I'm doing there. But products makes me think I'm vetting the product since you don't actually have shopping on this website.
Yeah.
How it works, that's Corey's process. Maybe I did how it works, but maybe my process, that sounded so clinical.
It does.
How it works seemed a little bit more
behind the scenes.
Getting too long. Now we do. We got a menu here, so
BTS,
too long.
Behind the scenes.
I don't know what that meant. I think that was a Korean K-pop band. About me. And then we have contact and order form. And I think those seem redundant, but the contact is, I like it
to
when
me,
a website has a contact.
Is like, I need to ask you a specific question.
Can you even, so on the contact form, which I think I did build this out already, it says, hey, use this form for general questions, not for ordering. Think, hey, Corey, what's your favorite color? For all orders, go to my products page, and I'll hyperlink that directly. So it's just that. But below that one, I have common questions that you would use this page for. Are you accepting new orders? Do you offer gluten-free? Do you donate cookies? That's where I think people would end up here. And do you teach classes?
What we don't want is, because I need them to go through my little form to see the pricing so they can know if my calendar is booked up. I don't want them to say like, oh, I got a no-no on the calendar and the form. I'm going to go bypass it and end up in her inbox and ask for this order.
Right. So what'll likely happen, this website, again, is just in the version 1. I think it won't be actually done till like version 5.
Yeah.
But maybe the autoresponder, if Shopify has that option, or I can set that up in Google, could say once they submit it to this one, have an autorespond say, if this is an order, please order over here.
Yes.
I don't handle orders. And we'll have to just see how this is all configured. And then the order form takes her to that. She wanted to connect it to job form. Again, we're extending the funnel here. Is that the best? No. Is it what she wants? Yes. So not the best. That's what she wants.
Listen, I love my form.
Corey likes the job form because she doesn't want to learn Shopify.
But I love the form for the fact of how much it vets people.
That's what Corey wants. So Corey, your more important motive right now. So now people are thinking, I don't want to vet people. I just want their money. You're going to want to cut out that form.
Yeah.
You're going to want to not have a booked calendar because you're open to taking anything. And it's not that either of you is wrong. It's that both of you are at different places in your bakery. So that's what the website, that's all we got right now. We'll go through it a lot more times. Probably have my grandmother. Like what I like to do is, hey, Ruth Ann, if I needed you to buy something from me on this website, where do you think you'd go?
Yeah.
If she doesn't say shop because she thinks it should say products, guess what I'm going to change it to?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to make this website out for an 84-year-old. The text would be huge. But I would find Corey's ideal target on it. It's probably in their 30s or 40s.
I would say, 40s, 50s.
That'd be my sisters and my mom. I'd say, hey, can you guys, I'm going to run you through a couple of tests here. Where do you think this should take you? What do you expect? What's missing here? What would make you buy more here?
What we have discovered over the years that we have designed websites for people in our day jobs is you get so married to something that you like in the website that
The cloud
doesn't
guy.
necessarily.
I mean, he was like, I want them to click, and I want to have me jumping from one cloud to another to kind of show them I'm about to open their minds. Like, I was like, oh, dude, this is not it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what I'd expect from a website like this.
Right.
It's not what I'd convert. He was property manager.
Yeah.
The cloud guy was a property manager.
You fall in love with aspects of the website you like. You're not the customer. That's why you bake the cookies.
Mm-hmm.
So what you need to really fall in love is with the aspect of conversions. What is going to convert the person once they land on the website?
Consider Amazon, a website truly designed only for conversions in sacrifice of looking pretty. It is the ugliest. It is one of the ugliest websites I've ever seen, but it really is so great at conversions that we're pretty designed. I think they've tried in the past to tweak some stuff and realize that's not what the people want. The people want the size, the specs, the price comparison. They want the reviews. They want to see how many people bought it. Like Amazon's a great example of like sacrificing aesthetics for money.
A lot of times when I land on a website, the About Me section, like, hey, I'm your local baker. I started this 52 years ago. And that's at the top. Unfortunately.
The reason why I named it Cow Cakery is because I had 3 cows growing up, and the cow one, like, that's interesting to you.
But it's not going to end up in conversions. So we have to think, what is going to get this person to book with me and give me their money? You can have your Cow Cakery About Me section somewhere on the website. It just, you have to think, is it pertinent to be the first thing they see? Is this going to end up in sales? Do they like cows?
Yeah. Again, it is a give and take. How much am I giving for conversions for people to feel comfortable buying from me, and then I'm not immediately converting them? And then how much of it is confusing to a client, and I just got to cut that out, even though I think it helps them better understand it. And there is so much compromise in these websites, and then you keep tweaking them.
You keep tweaking them. You don't ever fall in love with one iteration.
Websites look like 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And what they look like today are 2 different things.
Wow.
I'm really into this kitschy clean, hello, conversational thing.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And then you got to say, who's your target audience? Like, we had this client, the owner was very conversational, but he wanted to target very eccentric rich people.
Yeah.
But the copy they'd write would be like, yeah, down home on the farm. We're like, no, we need as the sun graces the inner kitchen and the bounces from, it was very different. So you got to say, who do I want to attract? Who am I talking to? Whose money do I want? And what am I willing to compromise to give that up? So your website screams cute. It's not going to be gold filigree delivered to the W Hotel.
Yeah. And brick and mortars versus home bakers are going to have a lot different.
If I was a brick and mortar, you better be seeing photos of that shop on there, because we
want your
get
body in there.
Yeah, you get a tool, huh?
We want your body in the building.
Because you pay for that lease, you actually get more trust than Cottage Bakers. And you also get a Google My Business listing that ranks over Cottage Bakers. Like, you make that lease, squeeze some money out of it. Take us into that kitchen and see it all cleaned up and say, about my shop, stop in my hours.
Yeah.
Now, Corey's going to kind of steer away because some people are turned off by cottage kitchens.
They are.
So we're not going to bring light to it. We're going to mention it. But we're not going to be like, listen, you can't come to my front property because my husband gets off work at 5.
Yeah, so the words we're going to focus on: made to order.
Custom.
Designed around your theme for your event.
Support local.
Yeah.
Things like that. And then we're going to keep washing, rinsing, repeating until it's a website that we'll have to redo anyway.
Yeah, because times are changing.
Okay, let me go to the texts.
Oh, you're just jumping right over.
Should we not have?
You can do whatever you like.
Actually, I have some Facebook Lives. Do you mind if we
No, I would love.
Let me pull that up real quick. Facebook. Yeah, we have 2 lives coming up. None are mine. I haven't posted those yet. I'm still bringing myself to want to do it. We have WhatsApp for Business. Transform your customer communication. So I'm really not good at this. WhatsApp is a huge tool. I think it's huge. It's in 180
technically
countries.
Owned by
Meta. Yeah. It's owned by Facebook, and it's a great conversion tool. We don't use it a lot, but it's so funny. There's this ice cream truck. It has a WhatsApp channel, so you can track where he is in Lakewood, Virginia. And it is Lara Perotti that is teaching this. She owns a Sweet Bite app, and she is from another country. And I think this is actually a really big tool in other countries.
I think so.
I think Americans kind of sleep on it, and you guys may not be sleeping on it. I'm sleeping on it. But she said she uses it a ton, so a little kind of 101 on that. Then we also have, in July, I have to stalk some people, add some more Facebook Lives. Add some pop to your party with cake pops by, Walled On by Sweet Stella Treats, and that's Bonnie. So she'll
Yes.
be teaching that one. Kind of a bake-along, Cake Pops 101, how to...
I saw you just posted the recipe in there.
Yeah, she included it in
Yes,
the
that was
description.
so nice.
Thank you. How to make a cake pop and bake it, how to make cake pop dough and mix it, and how to prevent cracks and tips on dipping it.
I will say I took her. She actually has a, and I think this is kind of from there. She actually has an online tutorial you can buy.
Well, she only opens it to the membership twice a year, and she said, I'll open it on this day.
It's so crazy. And the membership is super affordable.
$7. $7.
Was.
So those, and then we have CookieCon 2024, Kalahari Happy Hours.
Don't they go? Oh, when does CookieCon open its tickets? Is that tomorrow?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, May 22nd, CookieCon tickets go on sale. It is in the Kalahari in Round Rock, Texas. So now this happy hour, Kim and Heather Campbell Brookshire. Heather Campbell Brookshire is
Also,
sponsoring.
happy birthday to you too.
I texted her. Heather Campbell Brookshire is sponsoring the happy hour, and her and Kim are also putting it on. They're from Texas.
They are.
I'm not sure if they're close or not. Texas is an enigma.
They said it's a whole nation.
I think it takes hours to fly.
Yeah, it was like 18 hours to cross the whole thing.
And then a car? In a car. Because 18 hours to London, Japan. it's a whole country. So that CookieCon happy hour is September 17th. If you haven't been to CookieCon, or if you don't know anybody and felt like, oh, I didn't know anybody, so I didn't. Yeah, the experience of CookieCon is better with people that you know. And this CookieCon happy hour is before the event, the day before. So it's a great way to kind of meet like-minded cookie people.
Yeah, get their phone numbers, WhatsApps, emails, whatever, Instagrams. And then when you're going to go to your classes, after the classes, they'll give you like an hour to go eat something. You want to meet up with these people. There's food probably on the premises. There was at every Kalahari we've ever been to. Yes. So you can go meet up with them, eat with these folks, and you can make a little baking bestie.
It really, and then, just having some friends there. It's kind of fun. It makes it more fun when you know people.
You will make friends in the classes. I sat by the nicest people when I was in there.
Oh, you did take that class.
I did take the class. It was a 4-hour class.
The Cookie College is a little bit smaller, so I can manage it better. But they wanted to turn on, a chat for the Cookie Con
that's
tickets.
Nice.
Create a chat. Let me do it.
No, you do it after.
Cookie Con 2024 CC Planner. Okay,
there is a CookieCon group. What is it called?
CookieCon attendees. Now, I think you have to have a ticket before they let you in.
Okay, so if you get your ticket and you're like, I need a roomie, I mean, you can post it in the Sugar Cookie Market Group, but if you want it like really hyper specific, go to the CookieCon attendees. That's where they're linking up and really finding rooms together.
True. Let me grab a little emoji in my chat. Let's hopefully Meta doesn't implode. Oh, it did not like
it. Imploded. It imploded.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to cover what is in the Cookie College.
Other than chats.
Now Heather has a chat. The Cookie College is a step-by-step done with you marketing membership for bakers. It's hyper specific to bakers, but can be applied to anything. So if you don't bake cookies, but you bake cakes, listen, it's still for you. We just called it the Cookie College because it was on brand with Sugar Cookie Marketing.
I like it.
So we have courses that are never ending. The great part about the Cookie College is you get all the cookie class kits. The cookie class kits are done for you cookie class membership. Mm-hmm. So all you have to do is technically show up and bake the dough and make the dough. That is, the dough that goes in your pocket. I actually got the cutters for the Christmas in July yesterday. They were delivered.
Oh, finally.
So sneaking adorable. I am going to have to put that top of my list.
Oh, yeah?
to do. But what you do is in the Cookie College, you have access to things like how to set up is there a website? Someone has a Wix tutorial in there, right?
For what? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in the Cookie College, how to set up a Wix website, how to set up a newsletter, how to write compelling copy. So we just went over how a website homepage needs to lead to conversions. A lot of times conversions start with the copy, the words that are on the website. So how to write compelling copy. There's other ones like photography. If you want to know how to make that photography that is website worthy, you can find it there. It is the biggest course because I feel like it is so importante. Mm-hmm. What's another one that you have that you like? That's
customizing my chat.
Yeah, stop customizing it. I'm running out of words.
There's just a lot there. Like somebody had asked me, like, can I binge all these? Probably in 2 months you could really binge there. I don't know if you could implement all that stuff. It's a lot of content. We've been producing it for 3 years now.
Yeah.
But I think what a lot of people really, really like is this community group because they're able to plan ahead. So I can't run a chat with 46,000 people in the main group without it going to hell in a handbasket. But in the Cookie College, where it's a more petite group, and 1,000 members, they can kind of really strategize, plan they're already trying to share rooms.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those where you can truly create community there and have, someone's like, I don't take the classes like I should, but where am I going to ask all my stupid questions? I've got to stay. And there we can have a lot more discussion on it. It's still a monitored group, and I, lock threads and stuff, but not nearly as much, because everyone there is like, how can we help this person make more money? How can we help this client get an experience that they want?
Yeah.
So really highly recommend it. You can check it out at thecookiecollege.com. There's 5 different memberships. The Cookie College gets everything, but there's something for everyone there. We actually have over almost 500 people in just the $2 transfer club.
Yeah. So if we're going to just go to our little memberships, the $2 transfer club is $2 a month. It's a membership. Heather's constantly adding transfers to it. The best part is Heather making these transfers from her brain. Technically, if you steal an image online, it is someone's intellectual property. So Heather has tasked herself with learning how to make fishies and baby rattles.
Look, these things I all made. So, and then because the college gets everything, the digital downloads this month, its digital download was thermal labels. And I made 5 different types of thermal labels for 2 different sizes. I did 2.25 by 1.25, which is the the horizontal kind of label, the typical one. And then I did 3-inch circle labels.
Nice.
And these are what is sitting in front of Corey. So I made
this is a car cookie, a little thanks to enjoy on your drive home with a little car and a cookie as a wheel. Enjoyed this cookie? Let me know with a review.
And you can put a QR code there, and I give you a link to make a
allergy warning. This treat came from a kitchen that contains common allergens.
I made that peanut myself.
Look like it could be an avocado.
It looks like an
avocado.
Well, maybe you look to avocados.
Could be. Yeah, they're very cute. This order is for pickup on blah, and then you can put your little website in there.
Yeah, so, and then all of those are editable in Canva, tested on a Munbin 300 DPI printer.
Nice. Yeah, so those are done for you. So if you wanted to be in the digital downloads, that's just $10 a month. And Heather does 1 theme digital download a month. So it could be a cookie care card. Heather did do a business card that looks like an Instagram feed, which was very cute. So I saw someone using that. That was adorable.
I did the math. I do a Facebook Live on the Cookie College, in the Cookie College every second Monday. How to squeeze the most juice from your Cookie College berry. And the math is, if you signed up for each membership as it sits by itself, you'd be paying $187 a month. The Cookie College is $76 a month, and you get all of that in one membership. So it's really popcorned you up there.
Popcorn price.
Popcorn. We do as we say.
If you're like, I am not ready for this intense Cookie College with all these classes, we have some fundamentals for you. It is called the Better Business Bureau. Just kidding. It's called the Better Business Basics.
No.
It's called the Baker's Business Better
Foundational
Butter for Bakers.
Best marketing courses you'll ever.
If you are like, I'm just getting started, I just want to dip my big toe into the water.
Can you spread it like my secret talent?
Can you do my spreadable big toe into the water? There's 13 foundational courses. And when I'm talking foundational, it is how to set up a Facebook page and optimize it.
It's actually 12 foundational courses with the $2 transfer club included to be a baker's dozen.
A baker's dozen.
A little extra.
What's some other things that are in there that are foundational?
Those ones are the only ones I have that build on each other. So it's like, I have nothing and I need something. So you start with creating your logo in Canva. You move over and you upload that logo to your Facebook page, and you create that Facebook page. Then you make the Instagram page and connect it to Facebook. And then we use Facebook Planner to schedule to both of them. And I think we talk about copy and how to write the text there.
Do a photography course through your cell phone,
because that's where you're starting.
That's where you're starting. You don't have the equipment, so
and
what
then we take that photo and post it through the Facebook Planner to our Facebook and Instagram pages. And then invoicing. So I think we make a form, and then we have invoicing on Square. So Google Forms, because it's free.
Yeah,
Square invoicing is free, right? I think you pay processing fees. And then, because we want to get you all the way in, I think we set up we buy a domain and set up a custom email. It sounds too fancy, but it's very easy to do. And that's how those I would tell anybody in the Cookie College, start there.
Yeah. And those foundational courses will get you making orders and looking professional with the lowest buy-in that you could possibly get. When you have a domain, you're like, oh, but I'm not ready for a website. You don't have to have a website. What you do with your domain is you can just make a custom email. So instead of Corey Miracle Loves High School at gmail.com, it'll be hello@mixingbowlcookiecompany.com. No website associated with it. You can have it without a website. But what it does is present a professional and put together business.
That is a huge conversion thing. I always think when you see it like a put together company, And it's like at gmail.com. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of stuck in the past. It's so easy to make these custom domains. There's a small cost associated with it, but I try to walk you through the cheapest options for everything.
And if you're in the college, you get that too. And that's where we do think everyone should start. Sometimes people have been in business for a hot minute, so they don't need to start there. But if you want those foundational courses, I do think they are the bee's knees.
The biggest basics bees.
Basic bees for business bakers. Bureaued.
I hate it.
I don't even know the real name anymore.
Okay, moving to text. Hey, twins, I was just listening to the recent podcast to discuss Google My Business or Google Business Profile and the importance of setting up a service area versus a physical address. I set mine up ages ago before I was deep into Sugar Cookie Marketing Group, and it's set to include my address. It's verified and everything. I was genuinely ignorant, although I have vaguely wished over the years it didn't include my address. Anyways, is there a way that I can change it now without repercussions, or am I stuck? P.S. You're both my favorite twin. Anyone who approaches the finer things in life like an Olive Garden lunch is my kind of people. All the great support and information you share is icing on top of the proverbial cookie. That is a great question. You are allowed to make changes to your Google business profile. So what she's saying is, last week we talked about, if you are not a brick and mortar, you should not have your address listed. Why? You could get suspended, right? And also people could show up to your house. How annoying.
And that could lead to a 1-star review thinking that you were a bakery.
Right. So you got to understand Google Maps' audience, its ideal audience, is people who drive their cars to businesses. That's why Google Maps is so amazing. So it favors brick and mortar stores. As such, savvy internet marketers caught on to it and started creating fictitious business storefronts because it allowed the website associated with the storefront to rank first. And all you had to do was say, well, I serve. And over time, people were allowed to do it. Now, Google tries to crack down on it, but it is a manual review, meaning somebody is going through and trying to understand if you actually have a brick and mortars. You know, some people do have businesses outside of their houses, inside their homes. But the problem is, once Google decides that it does not think you're telling the truth here, not only does it take your address away, it suspends the listing, and it could be a permanent suspension. And so she's asking, can I change that? Yes, you can. You can go back into your settings within your profile. It changes constantly where they have them. And you can say, I do not service people at my business. I have a service area, and it will hide that address. Now, there may be times where you make too many changes to a listing and it's thinking that something's nefarious here. You got hacked and now hackers are taking over your profile and I'll suspend it. But the odds of you making this small change and something bad happening are nil. It will go to probably a manual review. Sometimes it's instantaneous and then it'll reflect that change. So highly encourage it. I actually I don't use my own Messenger on Facebook. It actually gives me anxiety. But someone sent me, and I went to my other messages, and I just caught it. And her name is Deb. She said, I'm a year behind. I'm going to read this on. Hi, Heather. I found your podcast a few months ago, and I'm working my way through it. I can't find the phone number to call in with my question, so I'm hoping you don't mind if I put it here. I need to raise my cupcake prices from $3 a cupcake to $4 a cupcake. Can I make just the dollar jump, or do I need to go up by like 50 cents and jump twice to get to $4? After listening to so many of your podcasts, I want to up my prices because I put so much time into my orders and this isn't reflected in my pricing. And I have too many orders. I want to slow down the orders. So I think you guys said one of the ways to do that was to raise your prices. Second question, how do I get into corporate businesses if they all have signs saying no soliciting? Thanks in advance for your help. And if you do answer my questions on your podcast, how would I know when you do that? I'm still a year behind.
Hello from the past.
Send them a message. I would say, in my opinion, there's a couple of ways to skin that cat. Sorry, cat lovers out there. But I would probably just do that jump. If you're already getting too many orders, your audience is kind of begging you to say, hey, raise those prices. You'll make more money. You'll work less. You will get fewer orders. But you won't have to have that awkward conversation twice about price hikes. Again, price hikes are awkward. Yeah, I'm getting you to pay me more for the same thing. However, we're very conditioned right now to be paying more for everything.
Absolutely.
And then what happens is you can immediately start making that more money. You can get fewer orders because you kind of throttled it with a higher price, and you don't have to do this twice. Because I think it's always awkward to be like, hey, I'm charging more. Now it's awkward to have to do that twice. So what I'm going to say is jump right over that $4. People always ask, should I make an announcement about it? I say if they didn't ask, don't tell them. Only have it when, you're only going to see that issue with somebody who's ordered for you consistently for a long period of time.
And I would say that's a case-by-caser. Yes. So I would explain it to the person as they're ordering versus opening yourself up to objections. No one asked, so no need to.
Now, if they bring in that price objection, I saw a guy on TikTok and he was like, nobody's objecting anymore. They're being too polite. So now you have to find the objection. He's a sales trainer.
Yeah.
He said you have to search out the objection and then you can counter it because people are so polite. They just say, oh, thank you so much, and never tell you what the objection is. If someone price objects saying like, hey, I've ordered from you in the past and this is a little bit more expensive, then you can justify the objection by saying, you know, the one you can always say like, prices have increased, I'm charging you more. You can say, hey, I have better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Like, Papa John's introduces the objection counter in its tagline. Better ingredients, better pizza. That's it.
Not Little Caesars.
Higher prices, Papa John's. Like it was like better ingredients, better pizza. So that's what I would do for that. Let me read one more text. Although you guys were so great and sent so many texts last week when I asked them to save us. They said, are there some guidelines somewhere that explain the line that separates marketing from stalking and harassing your customers? I sometimes feel like I'm doing too much. Other times, not enough. Latoya Harris from Augusta, Georgia. I would say, case by case basis. What do you feel like you're doing that's too much?
I will say if you're friending your customers, and a lot of times customers will try to friend you.
Because you're meeting them in community groups where
you are, yeah. Profile. I will technically not respond to those.
It's the other folder that makes you feel like I got to friend this person so they see my message. So like even when I'm trying to buy like a car part, I'm like, hey, I sent you a message. I sent you a friend request so you'd get the message. Yeah. And I'm tagging you here so you know the message was sent. So I get why it happens. But I guess what are some guidelines that explain the line between separating marketing from stalking? Think in terms of if you bought a car, how much would that car dealership know about you? They probably know your phone number and your email, and that's what you gave to them. So keep it on brand. I have a friend that says, if I send you a text, don't call me. You got to keep it on brand. You start in text, we end in text. So again, if your customer emailed you, I wouldn't friend them on Facebook to try to convert them. If they send you a friend request, I ignore those.
You can get me by email because I don't want you to necessarily know, like, me and my son are watching the solar eclipse together. Like, that's not adding any value.
But that's a different opinion. Probably Corey could convert more people if she let him in, but she likes that kind of line between there. So find out where your line is. If you feel that you think that your customers are like, kind of think you're dating, right? If you text some guy, if you double text and he's backing off, that's too much. So Corey keeps hers in the inbox. She always directs them back to an inbox.
I always say, hey, do you mind for me to keep this organized and not forget anything that I take this back to our email?
Yeah, I like that. I like directing where you want to keep them. It also really helps manage leads that way.
Yeah, and I don't like when people text me because there's no way that I can keep that organized because of all the spam texts I get from the things I sign up to get 10% off. So I'll either leave that on read or be like, hey, do you mind just sending this to me in an email to like get it out of my little messenger and back to my inbox.
Yeah. Corey likes to tag corporate orders in her posts, but she's not friending the corporate order person. So, yeah, I'd be so curious what you're doing that you feel like it's crossing the line for stalking. You treat them like your ex, because hello, give me some water. One last just feel-good message.
What?
One last feel-good message.
Okay.
I guess. Hi, it's Micah again, texting you what I had for breakfast per your Facebook post. This morning I had a peanut butter toast crust from my kids because we woke up 10 minutes before preschool started. Love you guys and everything you do for us. My little business is thriving over here. Hope to meet Yins one of these days. Remember that?
Yins.
Yeah. XO Micah from Pittsburgh because that's what they say.
Pittsburgh!
It's so funny. In Pittsburgh, Pittsburghians, Pittsburghers, you're going to know this one. No onions. And they have this wedding table thing. It's a Pennsylvania thing.
Okay.
A wedding table, a wedding cookie table.
Okay.
I'm in that Facebook group. I just like to see what they're doing. But it's like, I guess you get married and you make this table of cookies and it's got all these cookies, like not sugar. It's like all these different types of cookies.
Are people bringing these, like the members of the wedding?
You can do it. Like you can have people in the wedding bring it, or you can get bakers to do it. But then just unfortunate happenstance, they have this meetup once a year in Pittsburgh, like the Allegheny Mountains, and it's called the Cookie College. So always down around this time of year, I get so many people requesting to join the Cookie College paid Facebook group because they're like, I'm here with the wedding table community. And I'm always like, oh, we're different things.
Great men, single
And they have great taste in naming. So that is our text. If you want to text in, Deb, I'll tell you where you are in the future. Yeah. It's 571-556-56 FAQ.
4. Let us swim on over to our sponsors.
Why are you looking at me like that? This is romantic.
You may now
talk to me, Goose.
Talk to me. First up is Royal Batch meringue powder. I'm not going to say MP because that's an industry term. MP stands for meringue powder. I love Royal Batch. What I do is follow the directions on the back of the bag because it's fantastic. But I actually take out a tablespoon of the meringue powder so it lasts twice as long, but it doesn't crust as fast. I'm a slow worker, so I'll use a fan to get it crust going, but sometimes I got those little bubbles I need to pop, or I've stuck my scribe into it and there's a little kiss action going on, so then I'll have to vibrate it down. It already has ingredients in it, which is
White food coloring.
White food coloring. Corn syrup. Vanilla extract. Way too guys.
You got them.
You got them not confidently, but you got them.
But I felt like they would guide me.
You can do a myriad of different recipes if you want to put it in as your recipe. I do say test it out. It is delicioso. I love it. I will be using it tonight with an order that I have to make.
What order?
It is a dog's birthday. Moose is turning 1. And the parents are celebrating.
Happy birthday, Moose. I think we talked about that last week. Next up, Eddie. We referenced this when we were going through Corey's website because the corporate girly era thing. Now, I'll probably actually make a page about these edible printed cookies for custom corporate weddings. Because that's such a huge business that Corey wants to grow.
Yeah.
Because corporate people are like, yeah, just slap something on it. Corey had an order this past week. They just wanted to print the owners of the companies on the cookie. That's all they wanted. They did not want piping. They did not want anything else. They just wanted that. They had deep pockets. It was their party or something.
10-year anniversary.
Yeah. So that's why corporate orders are so great, because it is just a numbers game. How many can you pump out? I want to see my face, literally, and my name on a cookie and hand those out to people. So probably on Corey's website, I'll make a page that is just for those corporate type of things. Now, how is she doing this? Airbrush would be the cheaper, painstaking alternative. Now, this Eddie, the direct-to-food printer that she has, you can print on a cookie. If that sounds insane, it's because it is. You almost have to join the Eddie Printer users group on Facebook to kind of see how this actually works. It is wild. We talked about giving Amy one, so we printed Amy on a cookie.
Yeah. I have an order coming up.
Amy, I told her I'd say this quote on the podcast. I said we'd make a podcast about it, but if it don't make sense, it don't make down.
It don't
so
make
on
sense.
The Food Network. By the Twins, by Amy. By
the But Eddie has been an amazing tool to add to my business. If you're thinking like custom cookies take forever to make, Eddie makes it worth it. It is a great way to pad your budget because you can charge more for Eddie. He is expensive. He's about $3,000. The ink is about $150, but you can print so many cookies before you run out of the ink, let me tell you.
Right. And then, Corey doesn't adjust her prices because you're thinking like this is less work, so less time. That does make logical sense. But then we sprinkle in corporate and short term and big scale.
Yeah.
And then you're going to say like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I saw somebody and they were like, this is the reason I'm not discounting Eddie cookies. It took me so long to get the color I wanted.
So right now I'm at 85 for Eddie printed logo cookies and 95 for piped.
You've raised your price.
Because logos are difficult to.
Oh, for piped logos.
Yeah.
For corporate orders.
Absolutely.
So you're giving them the option. But
I want them to choose Eddie.
Instead of discounting Eddie because she feels like it's less of a cookie, she's increased the custom piped ones so that people naturally find themselves in Eddie. And if they want more, then she's charged more.
Absolutely. So it's a win-win. I hate when you choose pipe though.
But you did something interesting. Corey has this local community group and it's got a simple logo. It's a circle shape. Mm-hmm. And the center of it has a red heart in the middle of like a map icon. So she printed the whole thing, but piped the red heart on top of Eddie. So it almost had the nice outlines. Now, we have the Cookie Class Kits, which is a part of the Cookie College, but it's also its own standalone membership. People have asked me, they're like, can you make the graphic of the outline? And I'm going to print them onto my cookie blank.
Maybe I should try that.
I would love to see what it looks like.
And see what it looks
like. Yeah. I mean, the people who do it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Granted, we're covering it all in the first flood, but it would be a nice guide.
I think if you had
steps,
like a piece one.
You had the scarf with the different colors.
Yes.
That was a hard cookie.
Yeah.
So that's now included in those class kits as well.
So Eduardo. Yeah, so I had an Eddie order last week and I have an Eddie order next week. I do love me some Eduardo orders. And it's been great too. If someone sends me a very detailed logo, I'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I cannot pipe that. But I can print it. And
I think
then,
they love the option.
yeah, so then you have the option. And then if you're like, no, I was thinking about hand piped, we can go to something a little bit
Now
easier.
consider if we build a page, we build on, so Corey has the homepage, but we build a squeeze page just about corporate orders where it explains what Eddie is, explains how it works. That way you're not feeling awkward, like, I didn't know if they understand what a printed cookie is. So we're going to demonstrate what that looks like. I think I had you pipe your logo and print your logo.
And we'll put them right next to each other.
So I really wanted to demonstrate because I think pictures are worth 1,000 words. And now when Corey gets a solicitation for it, an order, and Corey's like, hey, I can't do that this way, but I can do that this way. Read more about it. Here we're going to help with that conversion.
So those are our 2 sponsors. We love them. Love them. They provide this podcast for you for free
Without
of charge.
them, there would be nothing. Sorry, Dad, from the past, from the future.
So please support them because supporting them supports us. That's what every podcast that I've ever listened to said.
It is true.
It is very true.
Nothing in life is free, and they're paying for it.
Do you have a Twinterest, even though we went over about 20 questions of your life?
My Twinterest, I'm still in my minimalist phase. I'm still donating things, giving things away, making everyone feel appreciated. You could go. Do you have one? And I'll think of one.
Do I? I did order that moldable royal icing. It's moldable, so you can put it in a fondant mold, but it is technically royal icing. I have to discover how to read the back. It is in a different language.
I think you could do Google Translate, takes an image of it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I am excited to try that, to give it a go. I saw someone use it. It looked amazing. It looks like fondant, but it's royal icing.
What have you been calling? Oh, yeah, gourmet. You've been calling
Gourmand.
Oh, yeah. I was like, gourmand, bring them. Yeah. I've never had a gourmand crispy treat.
Isn't gourmand gourmet like a fancy word to say gourmand?
I would say gourmet. We're going there.
Yeah, I made some brown butter Rice Krispie treats. Brown butter.
That's going to ring until it stops. What was my...
Oh, you knew the phone was going to ring.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
Grams can't break up with the landline. What was my Twinterest? Oh, yeah. Here's my Twinterest. I like paying for YouTube.
Yeah.
It removes all the ads. Now, this is not YouTube TV. This is just YouTube as you know it, as the app on your phone that you watch videos that people post. I like their features. So if you pay for it, it's $14 a month, which isn't cheap to me. No. I kind of actually think it's really expensive, but I can let the YouTube video play with my phone screen off. You can't do that without paying for it. You can queue videos. So after this video, play this video, play this video, which you can't do without it. You can fast forward videos in 2 different ways by long pressing the right side to fast forward it or double tapping the right side 2 times for 20 seconds, 3 times for 30 seconds, which is great to skip through sponsorships. No offense, Eddie. Just need to get through there. And they have a family plan. So the family plan, let me do the math. And Corey's jumping on. This is my Twinterest.
I know. Do I watch whatchamacallit that much?
I don't know.
Do I watch YouTube that much? I don't
know. So it's $22.99 a month.
I think it was $14.99.
No, for me by myself, it's $14 for 5 people a month. It's equals. Come on, Google. For 5 people, why is it not doing math? I just do 23. I Google math problems all the time.
That's too easy. You're going to need to do some on your own.
What does it think the division sign is?
Okay, let me do it. Okay, 23 divided by 5?
Yeah.
Okay. It is $4.60.
So it takes $14 down to $4.50. So you just need 5 family members. So I got Corey's jumping on, although she's already flaking, and I don't like you and Son pay so late. And I have to hunt down the money. I put in a Google Calendar reminder to pay the people. You got to water the ground of people managing things.
I want to say, for everyone who thought I was cheap because Heather outed me on a podcast, I paid for 1 month of Netflix.
I'm already
signed up.
I'm in a family plan. You were too late. So me and Summer on Ashley's Netflix family plan, but we only had 2 people.
I know. What was so funny was I used to be on our family plan until Netflix says you had to be in the house.
You were on the mooching plan. You weren't paying for anything.
No, I know. But when I logged in to sign into now this new account that I bought, it let me watch it on there.
Yeah, but it catches you eventually.
It did. Gosh darn it. So I signed up.
So that's my thing. Like, I'm not on a family Spotify plan. Corey snagged a spot, and now you're paying a ton less than me. But then I found a educational loophole. And I've been mooching off that one. Man, yeah, expensive these things.
I know, if you had them all,
But to
it's
take
so
it to
much money.
450 from 14.
460.
Awesome.
All right, guys, we're heading off to do the Cookie College podcast because they do get their own little tiny podcast.
So fast. They can hear us twice.
So we will catch you on the flip side.